This is my Assessment 3 video discussing the Scratch game I have created and the learning within it.
With the Victorian curriculum, this game addresses the subject of science, more specifically biology for levels 1 and level 2. This learning area of living things looks at the variety of external features of living organisms and that they live in different places where their basic needs such as food, water and shelter are met. The game doesn't address all the elaborations, however looks at the first two of recognizing common features of animals, for example head, legs and wings, and describing the use of animal body parts for particular purposes, for example moving and feeding. Within a classroom, you're going to have a variety of different learning abilities. Some may even have learning challenges. This game addresses one of those learning challenges, and that is dyslexia. People and students diagnosed with dyslexia often have difficulty with reading written word. This is addressed in that 90% of the words within this learning tool that has been created are accompanied with a voiceover, meaning that the participants playing the game are not required to read to complete the game. Of course, this doesn't address every ability within dyslexia, and some people may still find challenges playing the game. Now, looking at the SAM-R model, this game fits into the enhancement side of the model. Where it is at the moment, it would be in the augmentation level of the SAM-R. This is because it is a task that has been enhanced, but can still be possible in a different form, such as a class discussion or from a textbook. However, presenting the task as a game does provide some form of functional improvement. It is more engaging, the students get to hear the characters talk and click on different responses, and it is accessible at home or in a setting outside the classroom, whereas the original task without technology would only be possible within the classroom. To improve the tool so that it is in the modification or even redefinition stage would be to make it multiplayer, so that students are able to engage with others and enhance their learning in real time. Moving on to Bloom's taxonomy, the task fits into the understand stage. Whilst this is towards the beginning of the taxonomy, the purpose is for the students to understand. The aim of the game is for the students to learn about different animals and their features. If, by the end of playing the tool, they have the ability to identify differences and similarities between living things, then the game has been a success. With more time and an ability to go into more depth within Scratch, the aim would be to move the activity into possibly the evaluating stage, where the students have a comprehensive understanding of the content of living things and their features, and they have the ability to evaluate different living things and essentially apply the knowledge that they've learned. Now moving on to G's principles. The main one addressed is interaction. The game of animal features cannot be played passively. The learner is required to interact with the game to progress. The learner will hopefully also indirectly interact with others around them to enhance learning. It also has a component of performance before competence. As the learner interacts with the learning tool, looking at different animals and their features and what they have in common and the differences, they will hopefully be learning and performing the tasks required before they can be called competent in regards to the Victorian curriculum of living things. The first e-affordance that is clear within this Scratch learning tool is the multimodal meaning. The text and sound go hand in hand to complement each other in the process of learning. The game wouldn't be possible without the different images of the characters and the backgrounds. The next e-affordance that is evident within the students is metacognition. In this case, it refers to the learning that is taking place, or the way in which the students are discovering the differences and similarities of living things and their features. The game requires the player to think about distinctive features of a sample of living things. And lastly, the game is a form of ubiquitous learning. While you could introduce this game in the class, it has the capability to be played at any time and anywhere. The exception to this is if students do not have access to some form of ICT, such as a computer or internet. Like everyone, I had problems and challenges when it came to Scratch and this learning outcome. I spent about 10 to 15 hours initially working on my project, and then somehow saved a prior version over the latest version I had developed, and so lost about 75% of what I had done. My first concept in the design brief stage was really basic and didn't require much interaction from the learner. As I played with Scratch, I was able to develop the game to a point where there was a considerable increase in player interaction. This is also because as I progress through this unit of ICT, I've been able to develop my understanding of how ICT plays such an important role in learning. This includes gaming, which was something I really hadn't considered prior to this unit. If I had more time and was able to increase my knowledge around the connection between gameplay and learning, I would like to further the amount of characters and in turn deepen understanding of different living things for the students. I would also like to explore more about ICT in education.